says live on YouTube, but it's not there yet, I know. Okay. There it goes. There it goes. And I just recorded. There it goes. Okay. Very good.
Is the audio?
Yeah. We're coming. We're coming. One more thing. Da, da, da. Yay. The light circle. Rain or hail or YouTube, nothing stops the light, thankfully. The light of the happy learner. I just feel so happy saying the happy learner. I mean, it's just so joyous to be a happy learner. And let Jesus show the way for everything, the tiniest little things. You know, I could see someone express surprise, you know, that I just ask them everything. It's like so much happiness. Or ask my brother as Jesus' representative. I asked Jesus what to ask my brother. And Jesus could just still says, ask my brother. Isn't that adorable? It's really adorable. No, it's just, we might have to reboot eventually. So as long as you can see us, Janet, that's really good. Happy learner. Not have a single twitch. Nothing that shows up. Or if it shows up, okay, I desire it. Alrighty. Oh my gosh, it's such a relief. It's just divine power. Just happiness. You know, Uji used to say that. Too much happiness. No. You never have too much happiness, too much joy. Infinite joy, a joy that just goes on and sings and sings. Our little cricket song of love. Cricket song of divinity for no reason whatsoever, just because it can. Just can sing. And we come together to sing and focus on that light, the infinite power of being. Mm-hmm. You can even ask the question, does infinite being have this thought when a thought comes up? That's like asking Jesus. What, and that, again, it's that Rupert Spirit, it's all for me, you know, being reminded that we can ask on whose behalf does that thought arise? I asked Jesus that during the day. Is this an infinite being thought? Do I need to think about that right? Nope. Or he tells me two things. He either says, I'm sure, well, other things I'm sure, but the two that are standing out for my lesson are, that's your function to be thinking about that, to have thoughts about it. Like he tells me specifically, here, this is your function. So you're in function on that. Or no, you don't need to think about that at all. Probably can get away without thinking about anything. Says yes, but in the interim, as we're so used to thoughts, yes, you know, he's really even guiding the thoughts of God that arise in function as part of our function to serve the whole, and then just resting. And as we rest as divine being, as the light, because we're so used to thought. I love that. So he teaches us to distinguish, not to turn thoughts off, but to see which ones are true. And see that we can see through the ones that are not, that they have absolutely no bearing on us whatsoever. So which thoughts are in function? He puts thoughts in function to serve the whole. And serve Jesus, serve God. Wow. Thoughts of unity, thoughts of service, thoughts of expression of divine being, the divine light within, powered by love, rather than choked by the desire to experience less than what we truly are. to live in the haunted house of fear that's miscreated. Leading ourselves into continual temptation not to experience ourselves as infinite light, infinite happiness, infinite joy. It's really great to take Jesus on his word on that. There's something that switches, like when a decision is made, nothing other than what Jesus, my divine light says. That's it. Something like switched over. It's like, no, there's, if he says that, you know, because we doubt it. We have so many doubts, and we have to move beyond doubt to like, no, I'm going to see this joy that's here. It's like no to the idea I have of who I am. It's something in forms more powerful than the infinite light. And it just, for here, it just like clicked. I talk to other reflections that are showing up in my mind going to, no, I just like, I'm not investing in those denials anymore. Going down the road of death. Investing in time, the bank of death, time and death. No more investment in that. That's the happy learning. Because then it's just like, yeah, more. Okay. And just as much love as just the gates open, that we open our own gates, the divinity will be given because it's already here. So much chance talking to Jesus all day long. Learning, like just being like a child that's asking, like that innocence. Really want, you know, we really have to want to know. That's what I'm saying. We have to want to really want to know the truth. Really, not any kind of sideways. I can see it. There's no meeting in the middle. No meeting in the middle. 0, 0. Does the divine light know a middle to meet in? We look. Oh yeah, he's been talking to me a lot today about compromise. They would talk about that at Living Miracles, and it's like you couldn't. It's not conceivable in the idea of a personal identity will compromise us. What we're really compromising on. Compromise is a denial of divinity, meaning anything other than the voice for God is compromise. Is accepting less than all that we are. It's actually a desire to experience less than all that we are. Compromise is a desire to have an experience of less than all that is. Less than infinite happiness. Infinite happiness, bro. That seems so unconceivable. And when you see you are happiness, there isn't unhappiness. It becomes unconceivable. You recognize energetic movements, tensions. Might get pissed off of it. It's like you just don't have that kind of energetic investment in it. And it's such a lesson to see who's powering that. Who's the one that's giving all the power in the light of divine being? Can that power for an experience of less than everything be powered anything by other than what's present here? In direct experience is divine being. Here's another belief. Jesus, I'm willing to see it. You give only because you believe you're somehow getting something better. Yeah, the cause and effect of giving to get, which immediately creates a future as soon as giving and getting becomes split out into a future. Kind of the saying, you know, he'll get it in the end, or I'll get something good later if I do this now. All those beliefs in consciousness to create cause and effect around giving to get. You desire to miscreate an experience where you give with the expectation you will somehow be getting something better. Jesus, is there a desire to miscreate giving? It's any kind of expectation that something will be given later, or something better can be gained by seemingly giving something. You want to see it. It's another itch for a future. How simple it is to accept all that's given now by the Father. You believe you must give to get. In order to get something, you have to give something. In the light of divine being, does the light of divine being give or get anything? Is it possible to give or get as a divine being? Like divine being, don't know what that is, giving and getting. It's you desire an experience where you experience giving as essential for getting. Now it's just a rest. That's the light, where there's no giving or getting. There's just ising. What? That's the only way to have peace. As soon as those giving it, as soon as that like a fraction, it's like any kind of the one, any kind of gotta have it or want it. It's like, it's straight down to hell. Do not pass go, go right to hell. It's just, but it seems like kind of not so bad. If we extend it out over time, that is such a trick. It's such a trick play on ourselves. Ising is here, the light's here. Oh my gosh, that haunted house. We got to really see that full. I love it. Shutter Island, we watched that. Boy, that's such a good movie just to seeing how it's all desired. It's like some people would call that a horror movie. It's like, well, we're looking at what consciousness is doing all the time. Consciousness is doing that all the time, making up stories. You can watch little story spinning, little story going over here and then over there, and and then seeing none of it's true, and then none of that's true, and none of that's true, like the levels and the layers of the little story spins. Like, it's so much like the movie Inception. It's crazy. You know, you watch those movies, and at first when you watch, like, what you talking about? How can that, any of those movies? And then you start watching and seeing, oh my God. They're pointing right directly. How did that movie ever get made? You know, because it's on point with how the ego's like dancing, doing a little side dance around what's true. You know, they're so funny. You believe in scarcity. You desire to experience scarcity. Okay, I'm willing to see it. Go until he says no. Is there a desire below my level of awareness of scarcity? It's like whistle clean when it's clean. Like a whistle, like nothing there. He tells you, though the slightest, well, I can't hide anything from that power and consciousness that knows where the bones are buried. Any desire for scarcity. In light of divine being, let's put the desire for the experience scarcity right in the light and see what happens to that desire. It's like scarcity amnesia. You can't try to find it. Where'd that go? You don't even know what it is anymore. Well, divine light doesn't, we don't know what that is. That is so unnatural. Is scarcity unnatural to the divine light? Yes. Might not even build the answer because it doesn't know. We don't know what it is as divine beings. Okay, you believe I am mistaken in choosing you. Let's see if there are any energy around that. This is like Taxi Driver. You know when he goes, you talking to me? And Jesus is talking. You talking to me? You're really talking to me? You desire an experience of feeling I am mistaken in choosing you. And Jesus goes, but you chose me first. We chose him to come. And then we go, no, I don't want you to come. You desire experience of feeling I am mistaken. There must be a mistake. Is there any energy around that? You desire an experience where you feel it's a mistake in wanting me. So, it seemed like a good idea in the beginning to ask for Jesus, but right about now, I'm not feeling. Not feeling. He's laughing. That's a deep one right there. It's like, what have you done for me lately? You know, it seemed really good and things were going really smart. There was just a series of miracles. And then all of a sudden, boy, it seems like something. And we forget that it's what we ask Jesus to show us. That's why we have to learn and be so attentive to the mind training that no matter what, go up. Hell's breaking loose, tornadoes, earthquake. We got a volcano about 60 miles away. I don't usually do it. We got a volcano 60 miles away. We got scorpions. It was funny because Steve went and told the guys, you know, from Mexico, okay, scorpions. They're like, They grew up with them, no problem. How powerful that is. Immediacy. And I can hear him. Under no circumstances can you not hear my voice if you choose to. Like he told me, I laughed about this too, you know, because I was looking at, I had tinnitus ringing in an ear, whatever it was. I think you can see him online because I talked to Jesus anyway. He's going, you're trying to block my voice. Or, you know, but you know you can hear my voice even though you're throwing up or you got a headache, whatever it was, you know, he'd say that to me. He'd say, you can hear me. Don't pretend like you can't. Don't you? I pretend like you can't hear me. And then finally, it's like you're so grateful that you can hear, and then it can lead, lead out of that investment. The investment to have that headache, the investment to throw up, the investment to, whatever the investment seems to be, and just lead us right out of it. Show me the conditions, like he's doing now. Show me the conditions that the miscreation. Do not pass go directly to the miscreation. You believe I'm mistaken in choosing you, and you believe you are mistaken in choosing me. Is there any desire to have an experience of being mistaken? Or doubting the choice for Jesus or the voice for God? That feels good to look at directly. What keeps coming to mind is like the backpedaling. It's like, okay, I'm in Bali. When I hear, okay, now you're going to go over to that other island over there. It seemed like a really big ocean between me and that island. There's this little guy with a little boat and one motor. Where's the Coast Guard approved life preservers? You just at some point you have to, there's no way, no, Jesus saying no way around it. You've got to listen and follow. Get on the boat. Stay on the boat. Like, stay on the boat. And you get on, now here's what's hilarious. You get on the boat, it was like 10, 15 minutes to the other island, nothing, smooth as glass. You can see the reefs below, he's trying to give everything, this amazing, beautiful thing. But then like the doubt thoughts. Now, and he also gives a solution to that, like when they come up, join immediately and clear all of them. Don't leave any of them until we can accept our power of just saying, whoa, I'm getting on this boat. It was so hilarious on that mind training that happened on Bali, Lamborghini Island or whatever, because he has me driving around in a motor scooter, which is the last thing I would have been doing, or jumping on the back of a motor scooter with somebody. Like, oh my God, I'm on another, like first it started in India, then it keeps going in Bali, like he knows where all the fear is, right? And then he has, and so of course that's going to be the assignment. That's why we have to accept it, because he's bringing the mind right to, that point. But it's so hilarious. By the time he sent me around that island, riding on the back, I come back to that island again after the other island, I get off, and the K character like is gone, having to do with getting on the back of a motorcycle. Or back on a motor scooter. Some guy comes up to me and says, okay, can I take you back? You won't need a ride back to your hotel? I said, I just didn't feel it. So I just walked over to a crowd of guys who were standing and go, anybody around here willing to give me a ride back? I could feel it. He said, yes. I got on that scooter with my luggage, bumping down the roads. Now that K character would never have done that, but we have to let him take us there. Like, because we're trusting, like I said, trust points back to here. And I can see that mind training, how great it was when he said, okay, you're going to be driving that motor scooter around. Not only you riding on the back one, you're going to be driving one around Bali on the wrong side of the road. You start to feel the backpedaling. I don't like that. But the only way he can bring us to the recognition that like, I've never been like so happy. Like I'm riding on that motor scooter, even though I was like, looking at it going, no, I'm not, I don't want to, you can hear the eyes start coming up. Oh, backpedal. And we have to step into it. Like God and all the miracles. Guy says, oh, you just take that motor scooter, go ahead, ride it around. No, where does anybody say that? Go practice on it. I don't even have your name, but see you later. Come back, and the first thing he says is, and we have no insurance. Okay, no insurance. But you got to be true. Okay, there's a doubt thought just went by. I have the Holy Spirit insurance. Get on that motorbike. You start riding on it, and it brings you to the recognition of divinity. Because I'm driving along going, I'm like, there's so much happiness. I'm so happy, but it uncouples the idea that happiness is something. It was suddenly a recognition, wait a minute, I am happiness. It's not because of a motorcycle. We're so used to it. It's going to be because. Happiness is because of a nice view out the window. Happiness is because whatever could happen in Bali. Happiness is because we trust in divinity. We are divinity. And saying yes when it feels like you're going to go over a cliff is the prime moment. When the miracles, like the morning I woke up in Bali and I heard, you're going scuba diving. Scuba diving. I could see the little red flags all around the island. When I went, I'm going to go on these islands. I'm not going scuba diving. The number of times I have said I am not doing it. Like, don't make me ride buses in Mexico. You can guess how many buses we've been riding in Mexico. But anyway, so, and I hear that. Okay, all right, Jesus, look this. This comes back to this question. You think I'm mistaken. You're mistaken in choosing me. It's like, okay, Jesus. Okay, I'll go diving. I said one word to the owner of the hotel. Now, this is a little hotel. There's 6 people in it. It's the middle of, Lamborghini Island. It's like, it's just really basic on this, our Nusa Penida, whichever one of those islands, because he kept sending me to different islands. And it's not about the form, it's to see beyond form. But again, it's seeing that everything gets dumped and provided when we follow, and how easy it was. Because I hadn't been scuba diving in 20 years. This was 2 years ago. I could use all the ideas. I'm however old I was, 58 or whatever. I can't even fit in the wetsuit. What are you talking about? So I went to the owner. And he said, oh, my best friend, he'll come out tomorrow and interview you to see if you're suitable to go diving. He shows up the next day. We have an interview. I said I haven't dived in 20 years, but I am comfortable in the water. I don't even know where the boat's going. This was not the same K that was playing in form before at all, because I would have had to control everything and make sure I knew every stop on the dive. Or where we're going. And I wasn't even caring about life preservers at that point. This was such a change of mind. I didn't think about it. I get on the boat, master PADI scuba diver, master diver. Like, this is like master diver. The guy's a PADI instructor, the same instruction that I took. I get on the boat, he holds my hand. Okay, you're going to do this. Take a breath, go. Just held his hand. He'd come, how are you doing under there? Wow. The most premier dive. It's such a reflection of consciousness, because I've been scuba diving like maybe 5 or 6 times before. Great Barrier Reef, all these places. Every time I'd go, it'd be cold, dark, fuzzy sharks. This was like, it was really, I mean, Jesus was having so much fun. It was like turtles and, I mean, those big clams. It was like fish, like billions of fish, you know, just such a big, didn't know, Little Mermaid. But, you know, you see it's beyond the form. Like, it's that stepping off and trust. It was spectacular. Okay, that's the first dive. The second dive was with the stingrays. It was like, you know, but it's so helpful for seeing beyond the form, that all is given and it's all in the mind. You know, it was such a perfect example of before, you know, it's cold, wet, dark, too cold, dry. And this was like, as the mind clears up, it's like, you know, glorious display. And that's what the lesson, he's really giving, you know, step off. Step off if he tells you, and don't give it another thought. That's the other, don't give another thought about, you got to say no to every other thought. Really. Join with your mighties if you haven't. You just say, I can hear him. I can hear him clearly, and go. Because the doubt thoughts will come, but we're the ones who are powering the doubt thoughts. So we can say, Jesus, can divine being say no to doubt thoughts? Oh yeah. Thank you, Jesus. It's like no and go. And that's the only way we can see that we have not made a mistake in calling him. And there's no mistake in him calling us. So he is asking, we used to call it at Tony Robbins, step up, you know, but it's not a step up to ego. It's a step up in terms of when we're asked by him to take a deeper look, whatever it seems to look like in form. In my case, it was buses, trains. I didn't know I had fear in all those things, like traveling, you know, or going somewhere by myself, or, you know, I didn't know those were in. So he used traveling here. Well, we have to take that first step. I didn't even know I was really afraid of scuba diving, actually. But it's not about the scuba diving. I'm afraid of myself. And he's using, I was afraid of myself as divine being. And then he's using that backdrop, right? Of scuba diving, things we're kind of attracted to, travel, to take a really deep look at where the denial of divinity is. And he's make no mistake in saying that clearly for me. If you're here, you are called, and you have called. Because we have called for this deep looking. To see beyond the form of seeming like adventures. You believe you are here in this world. Thus, you desire an experience of being here in this world. And I love you even so. Jesus, is there a desire for an experience of being here in the world? And does the divine light of being love us even though we are in an experience of being here? We have this desire, just love us anyway. Does the divine light say, okay, I'm shutting you off. You're in the world. I'm going to cut you off because you created a world. This is direct seeing to look at this because it is funny and it is the crux of the denial of divinity. The belief that we are punishable by the divine light. It is really funny. Does the light cut us off? If I don't get on that boat to cross that little putter across that, am I still divine light? Of course. Or if I don't say yes to going scuba diving, or if I said no even to buy in this place, still here. It's just that we're so confused about what we're saying yes to. So we have to learn, seemingly through form, to say yes. It seems like we're saying yes to form, yes to getting on the boat, yes to, being at a center like this, yes to whatever, going to Jerusalem or wherever that assignment is. It's a way to break free of the form, because of seeing how we judge the form and we're attached to the form, and that's the power. That's acceptance of divinity. To see past error, see past the desire for an experience of being here in the world to deny divinity. And Jesus is encouraging us to see it without guilt. We've talked about that here. It's really beautiful, right? We're seeing it, just see it for what it is, mistaken identity. Oops, someone said oopsie. I just see this in oops. What a great, great thing we're offered here by Jesus, this looking. So thank you for joining us, Janet. We're so blessed by your presence. So blessed by it. You start seeing, oh, one more thing Jesus said to me today that's good for me to say for myself. And I asked him, he says, you will not see your divinity until you see it in your brother. You'll see it in your brother first before you'll see it in yourself. Like we can see the light, and the light's here. We know it's here. There's just something. It's really to see the gifts that God gives you, so you will see it in your brother first. That light. And that's how you learn to honor it in yourself. Amen. Love you.